Hey guys, I want to show you guys a trick that I use for my Bible study to help me understand what I am studying. For some of us, Bible study can be challenging among other things, so I'd like to share a trick or two that will help you in your Bible study to fully understand or to better understand what you're studying. Now, this is the app that I use. I also use my paperback Bible, but I like the YouVersion Bible or the YouVersion app because I find that it's very helpful. Now, when you come to the app, some of us already have this. I just go to the Bible that the book that I want to study, and just click on Bible, and it gives you the various books. Now, you can click on this tab, and it gives you the various books in the Bible. You can then go ahead to choose whatever book you want to study. So, I'll use an example for this explanation, and that will be going to Galatians chapter 4 verse 18, because I was studying this and it crossed my mind to share this here. This verse says that it is fine to be zealous provided the purpose is good, and to be so always, not just when I'm with you. One thing I'll mention here, in fact, maybe this video I can give you two tricks. Now, for a lot of us, you just memorize a Bible verse and you just go to that verse and read. It can be helpful to read prior to that, so have a backstory of what is happening there, and then you fully understand what you're trying to read. So when you're studying your Bible, it's good to understand the context of what is being said. Now, I read this Bible verse here, and it seemed kind of straight to the point to me, but if you don't read the story before this, you won't really understand. Now, this is the NIV, the New International Version, and it says it's fine to be zealous provided the purpose is good, and to be so always, not just when I'm with you. You can switch to a different version, which is what I like about this app. I just click on the top here where it says NIV. I can choose a different version to understand what I'm reading. Now, this is what I wanted to share in this video. When you're reading a Bible verse, sometimes it can be wise or helpful to check other versions for better understanding. A lot of us like the KJV, which is your King James Version, but I find that personally, sometimes the English in KJV can be quite confusing to me sometimes. Now, looking at the same verse that I had shown you before, I'll go all the way to 18 and then we can read it out. So this is 18. I'm just going to highlight that now. In KJV, it says, "But it is good to be zealously affected always in a good thing, and not only when I'm present with you." Now, when I read this from KJV, honestly, I didn't quite understand what this verse meant, which is why I read the other versions to fully understand what it's talking about. I then went ahead to read another version, which I also consult because of its simplified sentences. I also need to mention at this point that sometimes some versions can oversimplify things and you can miss the point of the verse. So it's nice that even though you're reading a Bible version which uses basic English, you should consult other versions as well to be sure that you're getting the essence of that verse. Now, New Century Version says this is quite broken down. So it says, "Though my sickness," no, verse 18, I beg your pardon, I'm going to highlight that so you can see as well. Let's use green here. So it says, "It is good for people to show interest in you, but only if their purpose is good. This is always true, not just when I'm with you." Now, if you compare these three versions that I've read to you, KJV used the word zealously affected. You would quite, or I personally didn't quite understand what that verse was trying to say. Now, I read prior to this verse, so I read all through this chapter to understand what Paul was saying to the Galatians. So he was trying to tell them that these people are working very hard to persuade them from being with or from standing with him, being Paul. So they're trying to persuade them to turn against Paul. And he says, "It is good for these people to show interest in you, but if the purpose is good." So they shouldn't be showing interest in you just to dissuade you from being with us or following the right thing. They should be interested in you for good, and they shouldn't always do it when I'm with you. They should do it even in my absence. That's what this verse is trying to say. But I used this verse just to show you guys the essence of consulting other versions when you're doing your Bible study. I know various people have various means of doing their Bible study, but I find that this is helpful to me to understand better, and I thought to share it. Now, two things I've mentioned in this video: if you're reading a Bible verse, try to understand the context. Try to read before the very verse you're focusing on. Understand what the story is talking about, who is saying what, and who are they saying it to. And then if you get to a particular point where you do not understand what is being said, you can consult other versions to fully understand what is happening. Sometimes you find that this makes it easier for you to understand. At least that's what I have in my experience. That is something I've learned in my experience. So yes, that is it. This is what I wanted to share in this video. Please read the context properly. Please read the story properly and consult other versions if you're still confused. Now, as a parting word, I've mentioned this in this video before, but just to mention again, apart from the fact that it can give you a better understanding when you consult other versions, you might be able to capture something that a particular version missed, maybe because they were trying to oversimplify what is being said. That being said, I hope that this helps you in your Bible study, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching.